Hello, my beautiful, wonderful people. How are you doing on this great, gloomy, rainy day? Well, you know what? I'm doing pretty darn good, and you are on the scene. I'm your girl, Racheal J. I know you missed me from last week, so I just wanted to, come by and, grace you with my presence. No, I'm just playing. No, I'm serious. But, today is a really, it's a special interview. It's going to be really heartfelt, and I'm so, honored to have my boy, Mr. Mike Leonard sitting here next to me. Thank you so much.
Thank y'all for having me. Thank you for having me, man. I was about to look around and see who she was talking about. No, but I'm glad to be invited to On the Scene. I think what you guys are doing is great. I'm proud. First of all, I'm going to say I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
I've been watching, I'm following you guys, doing a lot of things, so I'm just glad to be a part of y'all's journey.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So thank you for inviting me, and
of course.
I'm just saying I'm humble and I'm thankful. You know what I'm saying? Seeing y'all do all big things like this. So this is my y'all don't know, my ex Talk About It Tuesday member.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So watching her just branch off and become independent, and do these things, I'm proud of you. You know what I'm saying? So let me just say that about you.
Oh,
she talked about me. So
had me all in the feels already. But thank you. We definitely did. I was his co-host on Talk About It Tuesday, a show that we did at UBM, radio, and it was a great show. It was focused on the community and advocacy and all that great stuff, and talking about all these things. The core of who this man is so beautiful. When you meet someone who has a beautiful soul, the essence of who they are is the foundation of who they are is just good, and they want to give back to the community. They want to see others flourish and grow. That's something that you don't find everywhere, and that's what you find here. And it's not just and I've known him long. I haven't known him all my life, but you meet him for a moment and you know who he is. That's how exact he is. So I'm gonna introduce him because he's the CEO and founder of Action vs. Yappin. And I'm gonna let him explain everything about this movement and this brand. And I know for me, when it comes to clothing, I grew up in the South, in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and in the South, brands like Hilfiger and Polo were real huge. Mm-hmm. We were just wearing it because it was a hot thing to do.
Right.
And then I found out, the Hilfiger, made a comment, or maybe that, I wouldn't have made these clothes if I knew that, other races would wear them, black people would wear them. And and that really changed me, and I stopped wearing Hilfiger after that. I was like, I don't care how cool it is, how many people are wearing it. So with your brand, Action vs. Yappin, not only is it fly, I mean, look at this. What? You're killing me. You're killing me here.
I run this out just for y'all. I hope folks don't try to buy this. This is a one-on-one. I did this for On the Scene. That's it.
Yes, not only is it fly, you know what I'm saying? I'm rocking my gear, you know what I mean? We got the bags as well, but it's so purposeful. And as I've grown as a person, I've learned to be more specific, as in, what are you wearing? Why are you wearing it? What are you doing? So I want you just to introduce, us to Action vs. Yappin and the brand, and just tell us, how you got started, how it was born.
Okay, that's a great question. And the word brand, I want to kind of distance myself from that.
Okay.
No. It's not like you're supposed to say that.
Right.
It's up to me to correct what people assume we are.
The perception, yes.
We are not a brand. We are a campaign. Action vs. Yappin is a community urban group. Okay, that I founded and I started. What you have on the bag, what I have on is apparel for our campaign. It's basically in a nutshell, it's another form of promotion and advertising, so for folks to ask questions. And when you ask those questions, we want to have the proper answers for you guys. So a lot of folks think I'm in competition with a Ralph Lauren or a Hilfiger or someone like that. I'm in competition with the Urban League and the YMCA and Boys and Girls Club. Once we talk about more what I'm about.
Right.
So that was a great intro, and everything she said was absolutely correct. This is a brand, but it's a brand for my campaign. You know what I'm saying? In my campaign, like she spoke before, Action vs. Yappin.
Yeah.
It's funny that it came about because I was an AAU coach Before I started one t-shirt or made it a brand, it was a term that I used for some kids that was 13, 14 years old.
Right.
And they always talk about, man, Coach Mike, and at this time I'm 26 years old.
Yeah.
So I'm coaching young men as I'm still a young man. And they talk so much about it, and I'm spending my money we going to Wisconsin, we're going to Detroit, and I'm just trying to help some young men anyway.
Right.
And it's just something that rhymed. I said, hey man, we need some action versus yapping.
Yeah.
If I'm gonna be paying for y'all to go across the states to play this ball and we going and we
Yes.
losing. And this is a fact. And
Right.
and I coached them from when they was 13 until they was 18.
Wow.
And they end up going to college.
Mm.
So action versus yapping kind of was just like lingering around.
Mm-hmm.
And I started using it as a mantra for myself.
Mm.
So they wasn't around to do it no more. So I'm like, what would I tell my little boys?
Yeah.
They out here going to William Penn. I know them all. Jeremiah went to William Penn. Brian Reynolds, he went to UIC. Dorian, he went to Ball State. You know,
Yes.
a lot of my boys that I knew when 13, they couldn't even slap glass. I watched them dunk. So action versus yapping really came from me giving back to young men. Trying to motivate them to actually do what they're saying to do.
Right.
So when they went to college and became grown men, it was just something I started using.
Yeah.
And I made one t-shirt for myself. And literally it like spiraled into something bigger.
Wow.
And as the apparel, I didn't want to be known as that. So
Right.
I started thinking to myself, what can I really do? And I went to the essence of why it started, and it started from me helping out some boys.
Wow.
So when I started thinking about the youth, I started thinking about action versus yapping. How I'm going to implement it is going to be through the youth. So we wanted to just find out how can we start this thing and do it. And it was hard, but I'm a founder of a community urban group.
Right.
Group means people.
Yes.
So I have like 12 dedicated people that's willing to give their money, their time, just to basically say, Mike, what are we doing? I don't even know what we're attacking. We know we're not trying to stand on the corner and sell shirts.
Right.
So what are we really doing? And I'm like, well, hey, we got to start finding out hunger, education, and food, and the things that we was lacking. Let's not let the next people lack. And it started like that with just us sitting around living rooms, and now, 3 years later, it's like we still got those 12 people, but those 12 people have 20 people themselves.
Yes.
And it's grown to the point where now I'm getting interviews and
Wow.
certain things like that. So when you ask your question, how did it start? It started for me saying, hey, I'm tired of hanging out.
Yeah.
I'm 26 years old. What am I doing with myself? I love basketball. I started just coaching some kids. And me living vicariously through them.
Right.
How could I not be the message I bring?
Woo.
You see what I'm saying? So I'm telling them action versus yapping.
Yes.
So it became that to the point where I wanted to get it tattooed on me. So
nice.
the action versus yapping tattoo on me, it's not just yapping. I live with this, and I wanted people to know. So I want to be the message that I bring. So now that my little boys, that they 21 years old, they help out and they help with food and clothes drives now.
Yes.
You see what I'm saying? So
Yes.
I'm building more than what people see. You're not gonna hear about us because that'll be yapping.
Right.
You gotta feel us. You're not gonna hear that much about us. But the people who encounter us, they know our actions and they feel us, and that's why we get the respect we get.
Absolutely. Woo! Yes, yes.
I'm saying that's just what
Let me just take him.
because she know me as just Mike the Mike
Yeah.
personality. I'm always giving
Yes.
interviews and stuff like that. I'm always pushing the gear, but I was just so thankful for you guys to ask me what is this all about. You guys see me doing fashion shows, this thing, what is it about? And it's more. So I want to let you get a chance to really find out what it is about, because we are not here to make people look fly, although we want to have fly clothes.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We're not out here to be in fashion shows, although we attend and be, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
But we would do anything to let folks know our bottom line.
Right.
And later on, the first time that it's going to be an on the scene exclusive. The first time I've ever told anybody our real bottom line for action versus yapping, because this is the first people that really ask me what's going on. You guys will figure out why in 2015 you had 30 and 29-year-olds coming together knowing that our plan would not work into 2020. You dig that? Could you imagine having folks in 2015 saying, this ain't gonna work to 2020? And in 2018, we are light years of where we thought we would be.
Yeah.
And we gaining people like this so that we can see
Right.
the light. And it's a testament of not just me. I'm like the Leonidas in 300.
Right.
Y'all see me, I'm out here taking the arrows and spears and
Yes.
stuff. But my team will tell me I'm doing the wrong thing. And that's why I have them around me, because it's like, don't get lost in doing this. Remember that you're on this.
Right.
And sometimes I'm out here doing so many more things, trying to build notoriety to the brand. They let me know, Mike, if it ain't about the kids and education
Right.
and bettering the community, we can care less about who that person is.
Right.
So we're not about the name dropping in the stars. We're more about who's with our bottom line.
Yes.
We are somebody. We're not trying to attach ourselves to nobody. We want people to meet us halfway
Right.
and help us out. But other than that, we're not trying to attach ourselves to nothing. We
Right.
are a force ourselves, and we know that.
Absolutely. Well, you have such an amazing story, and you just captured just the action versus yapping, you know, kind of the foundation of where that is. But you yourself have an amazing story. I mean, I've watched you tell your story, and oh my gosh, I think I cried the whole way through it. And I'm glad that I met you first before I saw that, because when you meet you, it's like you breathe, you bleed action versus yapping. So when you say it's not just a brand, it's a campaign, you know, I can believe it because I see it. Because when if you spend 5 minutes with you talking about this, I swear you'll be. I found myself in just in random places. And I'm like, well, action versus yapping. Don't talk about it, be about it. Action versus yapping. You know what I'm saying? Because it just, you feel the passion and you feel that come off of you. So I want to, for those who don't know who you are, who haven't heard of this campaign, you know, just to understand kind of, you know, where you grew up, you know, just the things that you went through, the journey, you know, in your life that brought you to this place you are right now. Because you're a real humble dude. You cool as ever, and you have such a beautiful story. I mean, it should be a lifetime story or something, for real, because it's that powerful. So I know we can't probably get into all of it, because it's gonna be a dry eye. Makeup gonna be ruined.
I'm gonna condense it for you.
But I just want them to just know who you are. You know, where you grew up. You know, and kind of your journey that brought you to this position right here, sitting right here right now.
It's a great question too. Well, you know, I'm from Southside Chicago. You know what I'm saying? Southside Chicago, born and raised. Wild Hunters, the Fernwood, Roseland area. You know, I went to Fernwood and then I went to Julian, right in the same area.
Right.
I could walk to my school, so that's my becomings. Like, you know, I didn't go that much further down. I went everywhere, but the Hunters is where will raise me, and that's where my campaign is based out of. You know, the Roseland area. So, I mean, just come up in the Hunters, single mother. You know what I'm saying? But my dad was in my life, but I live with my mom. You see what I'm saying? So you know, when she's working from 5:30 every day to 8 o'clock, I was never a bad kid, but I had access. Yeah. And that's a word that I know I live, so I try to teach kids that now. I wasn't a bad kid, but I had access to drugs. I had access to these things, to gangs, to, you know, to guns and women, and so because it was just there. Yeah. And the access is there. So yeah, I did some bad things coming up, you know what I'm saying? But I did it, like I can always say, it sounds crazy, but I did it with a good heart. Right. Like I did it knowing I was doing bad. Right. Which is like the worst type, but you honestly know if you know when it's time to do good. Yeah, and you have to experience stuff. You have experienced life. So I believe that's why my campaign works, because I'm not the kid that's trying to, I am them. You know, I went to school, supposed to have been a good basketball player, everything, and I ended up getting my GED in school in Julian. So I didn't graduate high school, goofed off, but to be crazy, half of my campaign comes off my popularity that was in high school. But if you look at it, it's not worth nothing because I didn't graduate. You see what I'm saying? So I've been here at the Glow, but I really wasn't applying myself. Right. You see what I'm saying? If you want to learn more about me, like I didn't apply myself. So a lot of folks thought I was a slacker. I know I wasn't applying myself. Right. So, you know, you get your GED. So one day I'm in the crib, this is a fact, I'm going to get it real short. I was in the crib chilling with my mom. And normal stuff, hanging out. She like, hey, a coach just called me and wants you to come down to Lincoln College and play basketball. Never heard of it. Where's Lincoln College at? Don't care. This after I got my GED, she like, well, look, the guy said he'd get you your GED. I said, Ma, I got my GED already. Like, this is to give you a little example of what I'm going. She didn't even know. Like, Ma, I been having my GED.
Right.
So she like, well, he wants you to come down. I'm driving you tomorrow.
Yeah.
She drove me. Now, to give you an example of my life, my mom drove me to Lincoln College, 3 hours away in a Geo Metro 98 hatchback. The passenger door do not even open.
Yeah.
I'm 6'6", freshman. Okay, then I get there second semester in January. Everybody's already on campus. They hearing about the kid from Julian because I play with Sean Dockery, a very good basketball player, one of the best players ever in Chicago. So his name made my prestige. So someone that played with Dockery's coming here. So they had like a whole brigade of people for me to get there. It sounds good to your mom kid out of you can, it sounds like a great story till you got your mom get out the car and they got me climbing over the seat to get out. So, you know, this is my life. You know what I'm saying? So
right.
I was already like embarrassed, like, oh my God, like, Mom, why you didn't get out and let me drive around like you do at the grocery store?
Oh my goodness.
So, I mean, and so just to give you an example, so my mom was willing to do anything to get me out the hood, you know, just to get back serious. Before she was willing to just drive out there. So her car ended up breaking down going out there. So my dad stepped up, just became a real prominent figure in my life.
Right.
And helped me out. But I goofed off at the college.
Yeah.
I got kicked out of that school. But I was determined to go to another school called Parkland in Champaign. I went there. I got kicked out of there.
Right.
So when people look at what I'm doing now, I am the message I bring. Yes. I got kicked out of 2 junior colleges. Gave up on basketball, gave up on everything. My job was going to be trying to find out how I can get some money any type of way.
Right.
I'm sitting at home. That's why I prayed to my boy Michael Love from Inspire Brand. He was with me in the house today. We are in here just regular hanging out. And I get a phone call from a coach. And it was from Wabanzi Community College, David Heiss, someone that changed my life. He just called me. Like, what coach calls kids? Like, this was not like I had an agent. I didn't have no one. The coach said, hey, guy, if you want to come try for my team, come down. I got 2 scholarships left.
Wow.
I want to see you play. He hadn't seen me play in 3 years. I go down there, literally, I played 1 game with them, a couple more games. He signed me that day.
Wow.
So when I tell you God is good and my purpose, I got to get my purpose back to the people because I did not pursue that.
Right.
And to fast forward through Wabanzi, after everything y'all just heard, drop out, GED, I went to Wabanzi. In 2 years, I became top 30 basketball players in the country.
Wow. I
went to the inaugural All-Star basketball game and we got the MVP, scored 30 points. And that was embarrassing. Everybody there was signed to a big-time college. And when they called me out, they was, this guy going to Duke, this guy going to Texas, Mike Leonard, undecided. I'm like, dang. Right back to the car with the jumping over the... I'm always the underdog, is what I'm saying.
Right.
But I got the MVP that game.
Yes.
So when people doubt me, I love it because it only means I'm about to win.
Right.
So that's the good part, the basketball part. So all this stuff is doing great. I'm supposed to go to a college in North Dakota. My mom catch cancer. So I said, I'm going to stay home and go to Aurora University so I can help out with my mom. I go to Aurora University. Everything is going fine. We get foreign teams, overseas teams looking at me, asking me about my talents. And one day, I had my best game of my life. The best game ever in my life I ever had in my life. I'm about to give an interview, and they stopped the interview like, hey, Mike, your mom was there. She broke her leg. And for folks that know, my mom had caught cancer. So this are people that know me. For folks that don't know me, my mom had cancer. So she was still coming to my games, driving, didn't care. She broke her femur bone walking down the stairs. The biggest bone in the body. So she didn't fall. She was just walking like any other person.
Wow, that's
the
how
cancer,
the bones
the cancer hurt her that brittle. So we elected to have her come move with me inside of Aurora while I'm in college. Now, I never said this part. You gotta take the psyche of me. All right, I'm only 23 years old. I'm taking my mom to chemotherapy. I'm missing practice. I still got to balance classes, and I still got to play in games. Not college life. I'm not talking about hanging out, chilling, like, you know what I mean? And I still got to keep a grade point average of 3.0. Wow. I never, ever, ever tried to hold my hat on that. Like, this is what I'm doing.
Right.
It's just what it was. I feel like I'm out the hood. I made it. Whatever I got to do to stay, this is what it is. And I really mean that when I say that. I never try to, like, act like that was a big deal.
Right.
So Everything was fine. My mom got back healthy. It was so many schools looking for me. You know, I had at the time I was dealing with a young lady. She had got pregnant. You know what I'm saying? So it was like, okay, I'm about to have a baby. I'm about to go overseas.
Yeah.
I'm about to play ball.
Yeah.
The doctor just told me my mom is healthy.
Right.
So it just happened, and literally the next time I took my mom to the doctor, I mean, it was like me, my mom, and the doctor in the room, and they looked my mom in the face and told her that she probably had like 4 months to live. So, you know, every day you get better with this. So I told this story about 3 times, but you get better every time you kind of tell it. So when I heard someone tell when you hear somebody tell your mom that they got 4, you know what I mean? You can tell somebody you got 4 months to get out your house. They're going to get nervous.
Right.
You have 4 months to live. I watched the strongest woman that I know bite her fingernails down. Like, she couldn't even stop it, even though I was like, mom grabbing her hand. She could not stop biting her nails.
Right.
And that's when I really knew, like, it got her this time. She believed it. So I elected her to come back with me. So everything was fine. She was getting better. We was getting healthy. Shout out to Fruitful Yield. If y'all see this, Fruitful Yield health food store. They gave me so much just game. They just really took about an hour of my time and wrote a book and really had me wrote out notes for me and my mom about health food. Really? I was really on it like that. You know what I mean? So I was trying to prolong her life. And I told you by this time my son's about to be born. So everything's fine. My mom's okay. My mom, I'm about to go see my son in the hospital. My mom is like in the back on the phone with my sister. So I said, hey, mom, I'm about to go see what's up with Lil Mike. Lil Mike is born. You know, I'm about to go holler at Lil Mike. He's in the hospital, 3 days old. I go talk to my mom because she didn't answer me. And when I went in there, she was having a seizure. And it's the most beautiful woman in the world, like really got my whole swag. I'd never seen her defenseless like this.
Wow. Really
having a seizure. And I freaked out. I didn't know what to do. And at this time, I'm like, what the hell is going on? So I just called ambulance, obviously, went to the hospital with her. I get a phone call from my child's mother, like, you have to come to the hospital. Something's wrong with the baby.
Oh my, wow. Wow.
Literally. So I go up here, they telling me my son got 29 days to live because of a disease called trisomy 13. That it's a 13, we all got 12 strands on our chromosomes, a 13 band on our chromosome. 1 out of every 50,000 kids get it, and 1 out of every 10,000 kids survive. Wow. So he was up against the odds. But I found the woman in Phoenix, Arizona, whose son lived today was 50 years old, 40 years old. So if it was one, you know me, I reached out to her.
Right.
I was like, man, listen, whatever your son did, my son doing. Because they were trying to have me pull the plug. And I'm like, I would never do that in my life. But I'm dealing with my son, and so I'm in the world. Her family is there, so she can be consoled. It's 14 people at the hospital consoling her. My mom in the world over here by herself.
Right.
I have to leave here and go there.
Wow.
And these are all facts that I'm saying. So why I'm doing
your child and your mother.
So eventually, eventually, like my child died first. Okay, just to get that out there. My son died. My son actually died in my arms. Literally, like, they took him off the respirator and told me, if your son is able to stay off the respirator for 3 hours, we're going to call a specialist in, and then we're going to bring him, because that means his lungs is good. Right. My little boy was fighting, man. He was there for like 2 hours, and a doctor will come in every 30 minutes and check his pulse and give me the thumbs up. And he had never checked twice. And the last time he came, I seen him do this and check 3 times. And I remember him putting his hand on my shoulder, letting me know my son had died. Michael Anthony Leonard III. Only other 2 things I would care about in my life is my campaign and my son.
Wow.
And that hurt me. It really made me, because that was my, that really hurt me. So at that time, I'm like, dang. Literally 11 days later, my mom died. So, you understand what I mean? And people see me now and be happy and stuff like that. I need you guys to give me that energy to stay alive. So I love people. So you want to find out more about me? I hurt so much every single day and then to be honest, my mom wrote me something that stuck with me to this day. and I think I would have been drove myself crazy because she didn't talk for 3 weeks. She had in her throat. To this day, I have letters that she wrote me while she was in the hospital telling me, stop biting your nails, stop doing this, and then she'd hand me the paper. Still being my mom.
Yeah.
But the last thing she wrote me, because I was so sad about my son, she told me, don't be sad, baby boy. Even God not going to take care of my grandson before me. And this while we was fighting for her. But she had already came to terms with herself, like, ain't nobody going to take care of my baby boy but me. And she looked at me and did this, and I was like, it messed me up. So when people see my fuel and want to know what keep me burning and why you could throw stuff at me and it don't bother me, and like my bottom line is all that matters, and I know saving kids that's gonna go through what I went through and may not have this confidence to stay afloat.
Yes.
They'll turn to different things. Someone gonna lose their mother at 14, 15.
Right.
And I gotta let them know, hey, you could come holler at Mike Leonard and ask me how you can get through that. It's a mother or somebody that's gonna lose their kid and think they gotta turn to a bottle or turn to a blunt. Come turn to me.
Right.
I'm willing to put all my stuff on the table to help people, and that's me in a nutshell. Like, I'm willing to let you know everything I am. So, you know what I mean? Because some folks do go through things. But I say, hey man, what, have you buried your mom and your son 11 days apart from each other? You know what I'm saying? Then just lose everything you had mentally. And you want to do that at the height of yourself? Like after you done got a GED, then you didn't get the GED, you didn't get kicked out of 2 schools, now you get your life back on track.
Right.
And then it's God hit, not you, God. And so you like, what am I going to do? And you know what I mean? And I found myself wandering around doing different things. Like I be telling people, like I'm vulnerable. I was like, you know, like the codeine, lean thing. I'm real. Don't do that. You kill yourself. I was finding everything to lose that escape, to really realize that my mother wasn't alive. To realize that the one thing that was driving me was my son was gone. So when you know for 9 months you got something that's gonna drive you, what's gonna drive you? And my little boys, I'm trying to tell y'all, man, Barry Lattimore, Jeremiah Cox, Brian Reynolds, Dorian Leonard, I can name all, Devion Pugh, Adrian, I can name all of them, man. You know what I'm saying? All of my guys, even the kids that came and went. I probably coached over 60 kids in 4 years.
Wow.
All of those kids was my medicine. That was my drink, that was my weed, that was my lean. And I know that. So to be true with me and God like, you can do this or this. So when people see my name Snooky, and what is Snooky? S-N-O-O-K-Y. Snooky stands for Starting New Original Organizations for Kids and the Youth.
Wow. Say that again. Wow.
Snooky. S-N-O-O-K-Y. That stands for Starting New Original Organizations for Kids and the Youth. 5 years ago. See, we've been plotting.
Right.
We wasn't ready to do this till we knew we was ready.
But because it starts as a seed.
Yes, but as far as I'm talking about as far as coming on camera, but the people in the hoods, they know Action versus Yappin. They seen us outside with our like I know you probably went to the food drive we did. We just this Halloween. This Thanksgiving, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. You know, we gave away over 300 bags of groceries.
Wow.
We didn't even eat on Thanksgiving with each other because we was feeding people. Wow. And when you put that into the perspective and you really think about that, why should we be able to give away that much food on Thanksgiving? If any day of the week of the year you supposed to be eating, it's Thanksgiving.
Right.
We were able to give away 300 full bags of food, 100 Action versus Yappin shirts, and I don't know how many bags of clothes that we gave away from donations that we got. And when you put that into your psyche, that's my new high. That's my new high, knowing that that's it. Like, that's the thing we supposed to do. You know what I'm saying? If people are hungry on Thanksgiving, come on.
Right.
So yeah, that's what we're about, you know, and more things. So when you want to know about me, like my daughter Riley is my life. You know, that I have my daughter Riley Leonard, that's my life. So although I lost my son, God blessed me with a daughter who is just so beautiful. You know what I'm saying? My daughter is my life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like the motivation that my son did give me, you know, I thought I lost. Like my son, I'm not gonna get into this. Like my son was born with a 6th finger. Now my daughter wasn't even born when my son was born. They're 3 years apart, but she hears the stories. She said, my brother, this was like 3 years ago, my brother with his 6th finger wouldn't have been weird. He would have been the best handwriter or painting in the world because people with 5 fingers could paint very good, Dad. So if he had 6 fingers, he sure could be able to be the best painter in the world.
Wow.
And it just put me into perspective what type of kid I got.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
She wasn't even born.
Right.
Like my son would be 10, she's 7.
Right.
But she hears the stories.
Yes.
So she done already made him something now.
Right.
And that's what gets me going now. You know what I'm saying? So when you ask her what Action versus Yappin about, one thing, it's gonna pay for my college. That's all she know. She don't know nothing else. And that's what I pride myself on. And anybody that wants to not follow our campaign, we don't have followers, we have supporters. You know what I'm saying? We have enhancers. Right. There's no one who gonna follow us.
Right.
You're gonna have to enhance us. You know what I'm saying? Or support us.
Yes. You
can't follow us. We're not an Instagram page. Right. We're not a website. We are a living, breathing campaign. Every single day, if you hashtag Action versus Yappin, something's going on. Yes. And it may not be me. Shout out to Ryan Granger, who started the Action versus Yappin bike life way. This man was 250 some odd pounds. Now he's down to 215 pounds, riding his bike down Lakeshore Drive, wearing Action versus Yappin shirts, saying that this is the reason, not solely the reason, but this is one of the motivating factors to him. Even if he does not have the shirt on, Action versus Yappin is what motivates him. It's in here.
Yes.
You don't have to wear this for it to be here. So shout out to my brother Ryan Granger, my other brother Luciano Gallegos. This is another person, a Latino brother. Mm-hmm. His daughter Jasmine has been trying to be on the, she's been trying to be a crossing guard since 5th grade. Right. 4th grade when you can be a crossing guard, a helper. Yeah. Mm-hmm. She's in 6th grade now. I made her an Action versus Yappin shirt, gave it to her and stuff. My friend, 100% Mexican, Migo, he come tell me, bro, what's up? You would never believe what my daughter did. I said, what? Jasmine she didn't sign up for not 1 year, 2 years. She gonna be the crossing guard next year for 5th grade and 6th grade. Oh my God. She was nervous to do it and even ask. She told me that Action versus Yappin did it.
Wow.
That's my trophy. That's my win. And I don't have to put that on Instagram or
you don't
on social media to feel my win. You know how y'all feel my win? When y'all don't see me stopping.
Right.
When y'all see me stopping, that's when I know I'm not hitting. But I hit so many people that pull on this right here with me. Right. I gotta keep going.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm just so grateful for y'all putting me on a platform to talk about it.
Absolutely.
And I would never turn y'all down, but I turn interviews down all the time because I'm asking, how are you trying to help the situation?
Yes.
So I know you guys bottom line, and to be honest, shout out to Marbra Foster.
Marbra.
Gotta say it, for real, for you guys, when I first met you guys and I explained to you guys what Action versus Yappin was about, a lot of folks may see my personality, they know I'm a talker or whatever. You guys said, how can we help you with your campaign?
Yeah.
We have to get the right people to hear you say what you just told us. It wasn't like, hey, come be on my show. Right. Or you need to come do this. Right. Or you need to be an extra in this. Although Marbra then tried to put me in every movie possible.
Okay.
Marbra then tried to get me in Black Panther 7. Okay. I ain't even got Black Panther 2 yet.
Okay.
So I love that because she's always, but at the end of the day, I know the things that y'all asking to do, you cannot get nothing in return because I'm not getting nothing in return.
Right.
So it lets me know you guys' psyche about how real y'all are, and that's all we about.
Exactly.
So I want to hear some more questions you got, man, because that was a little, you know how we are. This is my friend, but I want folks to really know because they see Action versus Yappin. Marbra out here giving T-shirts to everybody.
Yes.
Hey, people know her. She gonna have brand new apparel next week too. Hit up Marbra Foster.
Okay, Marbra Foster.
But I'm saying a lot of folks don't fully understand, and to her credit, she's not able to articulate everything because it's kind of a lot. It's like, what can you tell this person? Right. I got 15 rooms. How I know Mike want me to talk about this room with this person?
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
She be around so many people. So it's more or less like, hey, here's the shirt, hashtag it, call this guy.
Right.
That's when I'm here to get stuff in order. Y'all gonna get it on the scene. When y'all ask her what a shirt is about, this what it's about. When you buy a shirt, you are supporting schools that's gonna get books this year. Books and the community award show.
So back it up. So let's go to the basics.
Okay.
What we heard, you know, what Action versus Yappin is about. You know, we have a great idea of how it was founded. What are the specific things that Action versus Yappin does for the community? And then,
good question.
How are we as people able to contribute, support, or join the Action versus Yappin campaign?
Well, what we do for your first question, for the community,
Okay.
what we do for the community, actually, we like to just be the message that we bring, first of all. Our whole campaign is to build morale into the community, and we like to find out different ways to do that.
Right.
So our first ever event was the Action versus Yappin fashion show. And it was not a fashion, it was a fashion event. And I know folks thinking about runways and stuff like that.
Right.
What I did was strategically pick 8 black businesses. But these 8 black businesses was just not black businesses. I found out what they've done in the community. I found out that Finesse King had gave back to Percival Julian. I found out that Be Free and her story was only, shout out to Michael Porter. I mean, I found out their story about their sister passing, and that's the reason what motivated them to make their line.
Wow.
And they wanted to make sure that people understood that even within death, you still can be alive. That was big to me, so that's why they was in my show. Michael Love for Inspire Brand.
Right.
What the Inspire Brand represent is inspiring kids. His logo is a light bulb with a graduation tassel standing on 3 books.
Oh, I like
The
that.
proof is in the pudding.
Right.
Inspire Brand is trying to Fade to Wealth, Marlon Wardlow. This is a guy that takes guys from the neighborhood, teaches them crafts. I don't know how many people he didn't have working his barber shop that may not be able to get a license. If you go to Marlon, he'll help you out. But he's a tailor also.
Right.
Full-fledged tailor. So these are people who I thought should have been personified because they may not go out here and get all the Instagram likes and stuff like that. But I know what they're really doing.
Right.
But also we had a pop-up shop where we had 20 black businesses under one roof.
Really?
Selling apparel before the show. That was our first event. So folks like, well, how did that help the community? Well, the money from that, the money we did from that, we bought books bags, we bought books, okay? We was able to get the next payment for the next venue because we did a community award show. Okay, hashtag Action versus Yappin Community Award Show. You will see myself and my team give away 15 crystal plaques, awards, to people around the community that was doing things that maybe you may not know about.
Right.
Maybe she may not know about. You know what I mean? So say, hey, let's go get this woman who daughter died. Shout out to Deborah Thomas. Her daughter, Tanaje, was murdered in front of her. Gun violence. People like that need a award. This woman still gets up every day. She takes care of both of her kids. You know what I'm saying? She's an avid gun violence you know what I'm saying? You know, she's not on that. You know what I'm saying? She's making sure she's a gun violence advocate. She's her whole vibe has changed.
Right.
And you know every day she lives with that.
Yeah.
Watching her daughter get shot and her niece got shot in the head the same day. God bless Alice. Her daughter did not die. So these are my friends, but these are also people who other people have stories about and they write sometimes stories about, but we don't really hear what's going on.
Right.
And if you are going to give them a story, where's the follow-up?
Yeah.
So that's what we do. We want to make sure, we heard about all the gun violence. We heard about the little boy getting killed, the little girl getting raped. Who going to follow up and check the psyche of these people? So that's what that was. That was another morale building exercise. We gave Jalone Colossal an award. Yeah, everyone knows Jalone Colossal as the singer from Soul Food, background singer for Aretha Franklin, but they also don't know that she has a school of performing arts that she take at-risk kids from and put them in there, teach them about the trombone, saxophone, xylophone, teaching them about different beats and how to appreciate themselves more than just a rapper or a basketball player. But you will hear the name Joan Colosso, you think of the nice blues jazz singer, which she is, an awesome singer. And her husband also, Larry Hanks. He's a composer, an orchestra. He did certain things, but when you know that these people are taking their actual humility time and putting it back into the community, that's why I gave them an award. You see what I'm saying?
Yes,
so
absolutely.
It's not like, oh, he had an award show, he had a fashion show. We having fashion and award shows with substance and meaning,
purpose
that matches this.
Yes.
It's like we letting you know from the gate, this holds a certain prestige to it, and we let you know, like, we're not saying you wasn't good enough. It's we letting you know this is the first annual.
Right.
Keep doing what you're doing. You can be in the second or the third.
Right.
But right now, we on them. There's nothing wrong with being good. And if you keep doing the right thing, we gonna see you. But saying you doing it is yapping.
Yes.
If you doing it, action versus yapping gonna see you.
Right.
But talking about what you doing, we don't even know that. We blind to that. But if we really see you out here, shout out to Hooper Johnson, Hojo FAP, Hooper Johnson Family Assistance Program. If I ever spoke about me having a food drive, it was not solely from me. It was from Timothy Hooper and Booker Johnson. These are two brothers from the hood that go around and really take U-Hauls of trucks. And if you pay a little fee to get that done, they would bring foods from Trader Joe. They bring Mariano's, Jewels, real live food that don't expire, and for another 10, 11 days from when you get it.
Yeah.
So don't let me take all the credit for the food drive, although it is an action versus yapping food drive. Hojo FAP, Hooper Johnson Family Assistance Program. They could come to your church. They could come to your foundation. It's not an action versus yapping exclusive. These young brothers are doing something great in the community. So when you hear about action versus having a food drive, there will be no food drive without Hojo FAP.
Okay.
That's a fact.
Hojo FAP.
That's the hashtag, Hojo FAP. It stands for Hooper Johnson Family Assistance Program. Okay. These brothers will pull up with U-Hauls of food to your church.
Wow.
And all you have to do is have the manpower and the storage room, and you will have yourself. So there's no excuses not to help.
Right.
That's what I'm here. I'm like a black phone book.
Right.
I'm letting you know the black people to get in tune with. Hojo FAP, Hooper Johnson Family Assistance Program. You can't be saying, well, I didn't know about the food drive. Create a food drive.
Right.
I didn't know what a food drive was, so we made one. I taught myself how to make the shirt you got on, how to make this one, the one Marber always wear. Every shirt y'all have bought, I taught myself how to make it off of YouTube.
Wow.
That's an actual fact. So some people may say, hey, it was crooked. You know I went to school for basketball. I'm not a designer. Dang, take a free one. But just give me the credit for doing something that I knew I had to do. I saw it on YouTube. I had the capital to buy the machine. I studied. You don't know how many t-shirts came out messed up. I messed up 400 before I sold the first 400.
Right.
So this is the stuff you don't see.
Yes.
You see the real grind.
Behind the scenes.
I make every shirt literally that we get. I don't have a printing press. I'm not sending no money off. I literally touch every shirt. That's why I get that. You say when you see that feeling, I feel that way when someone has it on. I touch that shirt.
Yes.
That's why when people say you always hyped up, I made that.
Yes.
You see what I'm saying?
But you know what? You tapped into something that's very important, the psyche of a man. Because even just within our community, there's a lot of mental illness. And we tend to suppress. We suppress abuse, whether it's sexual abuse, whether it's abuse from you, whether it's physical abuse, whether it's mental abuse. We are suppressors because for some reason we feel like it's okay. I'm just gonna lock this in the closet and I'll be all right, and then things just keep manifesting themselves. And you just going through what you've been through in life, you know, I call it beauty from ashes. You know, because you rose through the ashes in the midst of everything, in the midst of the trials and tribulations. You rose, and you not only rose, you did it in a way that where you can honor and bless others. You know, so there are people out there, you know, who deal with similar circumstances to you. What is the message that you give to those young men, to those women, to those people who just don't understand that after the funeral, guess what? When it's all quiet, that's the hard part. It's not when you're prepping, it's not when you're doing this, not when you're doing that, but what do you do, when it's all quiet? What is some advice that you give to the next person who's, suffering loss and suffering tragedy? Like, how did you do it, man? How did you get to this place of yes, it still hurts.
Yes.
But you have a certain level of peace to yourself that surpasses all understanding. So what would that conversation kind of look like?
The first thing I would tell someone, whether they're going through whatever they're going through, they suffer with anything mental illness, don't be scared of counseling. I'm not ashamed to say I did some form of counseling in the beginning. You know what I mean? Because to lose a son and a mother at that point in time, you just willing to do anything. And it's okay to cry. It's okay to release. Yeah. It's okay to cry. It's okay to curse God because he knew that curse word was coming before you told him.
Right.
Because we all balls of emotion, but it's not cool to continue to do that.
Right.
You see, don't curse God and think, I done cussed him out, so now he don't rock with me no more. No. He knew you was going to cuss him out. Yeah. Ain't no God. God don't love me. Why he take my this? Why this happened? And then when you get back on you are always, so my advice to people is to talk to people. My advice is to definitely get counseling. But my real true advice to folks is, and this is for me, this is like from Mike Leonard. Know you only got one life to live. This is my synopsis. Nobody told me this. You only got one life to live. Period. And that's it. So we all gonna go through things. You know what I'm saying? So if you only got one life to live, you cannot choose to live that life depressed, miserable, asking why.
Right. You
have to create a why.
Yeah.
When you asking people why is this like that, you are taken from your life. And you know what I think what you're saying, and that's why I think suppresses so much talent.
Right. It's true.
Mental illness and things that we go through, it suppresses our talent because talent is driven by drive. If you have no drive, your talent can really never manifest.
Right.
So if you always depressed and you down on yourself and using excuses, your talent is going to be buried.
Right.
So even if you lose your mom, lose your son, you know what you got to keep doing. Be happy.
Right.
Even though it's hard.
You fake it till you make it.
It's hard. But no, listen. And that is true. But you really can't fake waking up in the morning is my point.
Right.
Anybody that wake up in the morning should be happy. Because if you're not happy, you should go swap out with someone in the cemetery. They would gladly dig up theyself to be in your messed up predicament.
Right.
So my key is, I lost my mom, my son, 11 days from each other. What's that's going to change? Those was God's kids before they was my people.
Wow. Yeah.
And I had to understand that. That's God's son. That's God's daughter. He left me how I'm at.
Right.
And that's how I'm conditioned to think.
Right.
I'm mad because I'm still alive? So when people got to look at it from my perspective for someone, if you haven't lost your mom or haven't lost your son or been through certain things, or I know like certain sexual abuses happen, if you're still alive to create the life that you think that you deserve, no one else is going to give it to you. And that's where my confidence comes from, knowing that my life is still there. Anything that I want, I can have.
Yes.
And I believe that people that suffer from mental illness, in my opinion, their drive get diminished. And when your drive get diminished, your mind is the word think. When you think you can't do something, you can become ill. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
And you can, like, folks that scared to do small things, like, what's wrong with you? Like, you can't just do that. You understand? So I think, and they cope with drugs. They cope with alcohol. They cope with lies, not being their self.
Right.
And what you're doing is suppressing talent, not suppressing nothing else. We all built with a level of talent.
Right.
That's why so many robots and so many rappers working in factories and so many basketball players delivering mail. The job you doing ain't what you supposed to be doing.
Right.
Your talent has been suppressed not just by society, the world. Action versus Yappin is looking for all the suppressed, talented people. Because if you be around me and mine, we bringing that out.
Yes.
Oh, you think you think 'cause you work at a bakery, you not a rapper?
Right.
No, brother, come on. Let's make sure we fester that talent. Oh, sister girl, you think right now because you a stripper that you can't be an author or a poet? I really write poetry, but I got to strip for my living. No. Let's fester that talent.
Right.
You so depressed and insecure, you think that's the only way to make it.
Right.
Let's fester that talent.
Let's fester that
So
talent.
Action versus Yappin is here to just find like that part of the community. And we know that a lot of folks, it's harder to deal with adults with that because they know I'm done. So these kids still believe in their talent.
Right.
They still got their dreams.
Yes.
And we being the bridge, because we see the people who done gave up on their talent, and we see the kids that still believe in their talent.
Right.
Who the hell they looking up to? I'm the bridge in between saying, check us out.
Right.
First, before you see the dudes that
Cross this bridge. Yes,
before them dudes that gave up on their talent, them females that gave up on their talent, this world ain't nothing. I'm tired. No, see us. I love waking up in the morning. And then, and when we inject that into them, folks will know what we about.
Ooh. Yes. I'm loving this. And this, the bottom line is, don't be a victim of your circumstances. We all go through things. Some people have to go through a little bit more than others, but it just means that there's greater purpose there, in everything that we do. And you have a young man here who's, he real, y'all. These is real stories, that he's telling, and he's been through a lot of things, and he has a lot of wisdom and knowledge, and he's, just carrying this, I'm gonna say a cross, you know what I'm saying? Because he's like, you know what, you don't have to go through what you're going through by yourself. I have an organization, I have a campaign, I have a group of people, that will help you, not only physically, with these clothing to make you feel good and to express, how you're feeling on the inside, with the clothes, but to just create a space within your mind that says you're more than enough. You're more than capable of being who you want to be. Who are you? What do you want to do? With your life. So I respect that and I appreciate it.
Can I say one more thing, please? Just one
more thing real quick. Course.
One more thing. I do want y'all to, it is Marlboro's favorite logo, and it goes with what you just said. It is my barcode logo. It's called the self-worth logo. If you hashtag Action versus Yappin barcode, hit up Marlboro Foster for the barcode t-shirt. The barcode is our #1 seller because it is what you're saying.
Yes.
It's called self-worth. It's the self-worth logo. When we put these logos, these t-shirts on our kids, and we say, hey, if I scan this logo on your chest, what's your worth?
Woo.
And they didn't even know what we were saying at first. Like, what you mean, what's my worth?
Right.
I'm worth one shorty told me, I'm worth $5 million. One kid told me, I'll do anything for $10 million. I said, all y'all gather around. I said, who would do whatever in the world for $10 million? They raised their hand. I said, well, listen to me. Would y'all each let me shoot y'all in the head for $10 million?
Right.
All of them said, no.
Right.
Well then, ain't no amount of money worth your life. And once they got that, so what are you worth? What can you bring to the world and your mother different than money?
Right.
I know how to draw. I know how to. They start getting it.
Yeah.
And some kids didn't get it, but now they come, hey, Mr. Mike, I know what I can do. Because it ain't about this.
Yes.
You see what I'm saying? So that's what one of our t-shirts is, give you everything has meaning. Like that's the circle of success. What you got on right there. The sun will always shine in the middle of the circle of success. And that's what that is. That's what that definition for. The sun will always shine within the circle of success of Action versus Yappin. So if y'all want to see more of that, Tuesdays, check me out Tuesdays on UBM Radio. I have my own podcast called the Action versus Yappin podcast. And I'm definitely going to have, they know they coming on for sure to the Action versus Yappin podcast because it feels good to be in another seat to answer questions. And I really want to humbly thank y'all for just caring about it. I definitely want to come back and do a part 2 to let folks know about what's been happening since then. We've been doing so much. That's why I don't want to give everything out right now. These are my people. Part 2 coming soon. You know, but I really wanted to thank you guys for the platform. You know, right now we are for the 4th of July. We're letting you guys know you get 4 T-shirts and a tote bag for just $40, man. I mean, 4 items, 3 T-shirts and a bag for just $40, man. Holla at Barbara Foster to get it. Or contact me on Instagram, Facebook. I just want to thank you guys for doing this. I love On the Scene. And all my people that's watching this, trust me, watch On the Scene, DM them, contact them about getting on here. A lot of my network needs you guys because of what you guys on your platform mean. You know I'm going to do my due diligence of getting y'all out there, doing y'all thing.
Absolutely.
And I just want to send a special shout out to Barbara Foster again, man. And I want to just be 100 on the show right here out there in the open, man. This woman really stepped up when I did not ask her to.
Absolutely.
And then it's one thing that I love, and I call it DTA. That's, disagree to agree or agree to disagree.
Yes.
ATD, agree to disagree. This woman is so real. She'll let you exactly know what she on.
Right.
And that's what she stands at.
Absolutely.
And you know she don't want nothing from you.
Yeah.
And in the beginning, you think she do because you think in the world
throw you off.
From where I'm from, I'm not from the rap hood. I'm from the real hood. When people want to help that much, you know something up to it.
Right, you be like, what you
Barbara, you do not want something up to this. And it's not that.
Yeah.
It's she really care. And when I felt that for real, it was like, dang.
Yes.
But I'm built like that. I'm not one of these fakers. I'm not a poser.
Right.
I'm from the hood. I'm like, lady, y'all know you seeing, I don't know what you got going on, but wait. And then when she just kept coming like, no. And I had to look at everything. Everything Marvin gave me just helped me.
Right.
When have I helped Barbara?
Right.
And I had to start thinking like, so now she knows now, like Barbara know Action versus Yappin helping out Barbara. We gonna keep helping. We gonna keep supporting you in every which way. But I had to evaluate myself.
Right.
Because so many people out here that's fake and latch on to you. And when she latched on, it was like, I don't care if you don't understand or not. I'm helping you. You don't know.
It was her purpose. And you was blocking.
The Kembe Mutombo.
Bam!
And now I ain't blocking. I'm doing like
look.
Hey.
Come on.
And I appreciate that, man.
Yes,
so if y'all want to know about Mike Leonard, man, Mike the Mike, man, I'm just a real guy, man, from Chicago. I got a GED, but I went back and got both of my college degrees, you know what I'm saying? So I'm able to talk to the kid with the GED. I'm able to talk to the kid that dropped out of college.
Right.
I'm able to talk to the guy that I'm going to do a whole show on athletes, high school basketball players. Stay off the marijuana. You are 4 blunts away from making it to the NBA, and I'm going to let y'all know how to do it.
Wow.
And it's sad that we don't know a lot of folks that do that, and it's a dependency, but I ain't going to put too much out there. Watch the high school basketball players. If you got a high school son or high school nephew that you know is very good in basketball, but some days he may dibble and dabble in weed, have him watch the Action versus Yappin podcast, and I will let you know about how that drug really can hinder the people who he may be getting all B's. He may be scoring 28. Take that weed away, he'll be scoring 40 and having a 4.3 grade point average. No matter what anyone says, that is a hindrance when you're trying to be at a high level. Sports, football, basketball. I'm going to get into how much marijuana affects the younger. Now, when you get grown, do what you want to do. I'm talking about high schoolers and college kids. Watch my show and y'all want to explain how that drug can enhance you more than hinder you. And that's where I'm at with mine on that, man. Action versus Yappin.
Okay, so just give us all your handles, your Instagram handle, Facebook. How do we get in contact with Mr. Mike Leonard? Mike the Mike.
Mike Leonard, just what it says. Follow me on Facebook, Mike Leonard. If you don't follow me on Facebook, definitely follow the Action versus Yappin page. You know, Action versus Yappin face page is actions with an S. It's not Action versus Yappin. It's actions with an S. Because action is one thing, we do many. So we don't have one action. An action is this. This is actions. You can do one action. No, we all about that action. So we actions versus Yappin. So you hashtag actions with an S versus Yappin, and you put that out there on Instagram. We got an Instagram page and Facebook page. You can follow me right there. That's the only pages I have for my Action versus Yappin. Anything you have to know. And if you don't want to follow us, just hashtag us. Anything that I said, I triple dare you to hashtag it. And if you don't see clothes drives, if you don't see food drives, if you don't see book drives, if you don't see us helping the community, call my bluff or tag me, because it's probably so much content you can't see it yet. I got to go back and find it 3 years ago. We are not new. We may be new to you, but we owe to our community.
Yes, and on that note, just let me tell you that whenever you are going through something, for me, you know, when you connect with the community and volunteer and take the focus off of yourself, it really is therapeutic. So if you're going through something, you just want to get out, be a better version of yourself, or just get away from it all, definitely connect with Action versus Yappin. You know, connect with us to get to them, whatever it takes. Thank you all so much for watching. This is a very special show for me, because this man just pulls at my heartstrings, because he's so real and he's so raw, and he's just so beautiful from the inside out, and I'm so grateful.
And before I go, not to cut it, before I go, this is my best friend. Before I go, I had to definitely say this for a fact, man. I want to really give a shout out to my lady, for real. She does so much for Action versus Yappin. No, you know what I'm saying? She does so much for Action versus Yappin. I mean, for real.
Diana!
All the cards, because I left that out for a minute, but I want to let her know all the cards and stuff that she's doing, man, for real. Business cards, all the administrative work, all the stuff she do, man. So, like, that
She's
is something
over
else.
Here not coming out.
That is something I can't tell y'all brothers out there, man. You know what I'm saying? And all y'all ladies probably watching this stuff. No, man, it is a woman behind this brother that does a lot of things, man, that she do. She like to stay in the background low key, as she should. But when it's time to come out, I gotta pull her back. But I do want to thank her in front of the world, letting her know exactly
blowing her kisses over here.
Exactly how much she do help out, man. She put up with a lot. She there for the 3 o'clock in the morning phone calls and everything, man. She sees it all day long, like no sleep, no nothing. And I don't think a lot of people know how big that is, to have somebody like knowing it, rocking and rolling, like it's cool. Like when I'm discouraged, just come on, dude.
Right.
You know, so I just want to put that out there to all my brothers out there, all my ladies out there doing something out there, man. Get y'all somebody who gonna rock with you, like get on your train, you know what I'm saying? Because you gonna what? Not saying they gotta do everything you do, but if somebody like this same tattoo, she got tattooed on her back. This ain't for that. Y'all don't gotta see that on camera, but I'm saying that was the type of dedication she showed me. She had her tattoo before I did.
That love, yes.
That's why I gotta fight.
Right.
I gotta drive.
Right.
Woman put a tattoo on her back, I better be Action versus Yappin.
Right.
So on that note, I still do that. I'm a regular guy, man. I'm not one of those. I'm not like Sharif off Boys in the Hood. Okay. You ain't gotta worry about me coming around preaching and none of that. But what you ain't gotta worry about me is being fake. Everything about me is 100%, but my phone charge. And that's because I spend time taking care of real life business, man. And on that note, back to my girl Racheal J. I miss you.
I know.
I miss you.
It's been too long.
It's been smelling like too much men cologne in the studio. Okay, but I do appreciate you guys. Now I just love what y'all doing, man. I'm humble, and I always knew this about you. You know what I'm saying? As long as you got Margaret too, for real, because hey, you know how it go.
Yeah.
This is Margaret like Tyler Lee, Spike Perry.
Spike Perry.
She don't get Margaret ain't on no games.
And Margaret Fall, you probably do know if you're watching the show, but Margaret Foster is the producer of On the Scene, and she is just
a producer of On the Scene and many other things.
She wears like 10,000 hats. Yeah, I'd be like, girl.
Margaret the only person that I know that can do 16 hairstyles in 1 week. So it's 7 days. 7 days in 1 week. She got 16 hairstyles. I love it, man. And you need that. And I know you need that. You guys do such a good job of marketing, advertising, promotion. And to be independent, you guys do not rest on y'all laurels. Y'all really put y'all foot in it. And for me to be able to see that, y'all keep me going as I hope I keep y'all going. Absolutely. Because that is what it's about. And when I see Margaret tagging 50 times, I don't get mad, I get excited. I gotta tag 51.
Right.
Forget that. Margaret tag 50, I'm doing 51 because that's what it takes. No one gets mad at the Luna commercial.
No.
Everybody knows 773.
Thank you for putting that in my head.
Everybody know Luna, but they get mad at Marvel for all y'all gonna get mad at Marvel for all the shares, but y'all don't get mad at the commercial people all the time.
No, she's the only people get mad is the people who don't understand marketing.
And she's an independent, her own marketer. She's her own commercial. So
get
shout out to Marva Foster,
yourself.
man, one of the best producers in here.
Woo!
Thank you, Racheal J, for bringing me on. I'm very humble and excited to do this, and part 2 will be on it. Check her for my show. Next month, Racheal J gonna come on. I want to find out just how it is having her own show, independently interviewing people. I want to know how your first couple months been as a host.
Woo!
You heard it here first. And also you heard here first that they can do this. No, seriously though, Action versus Yappin Vision School. I never told anybody this at all on the scene. You hear it first. The Action versus Yappin Vision School. We came up with this blueprint in 2016. It's really making some waves. We got a group of 12 people, like I stated before. We have a building that we're not going to disclose trying to where, but we're trying to get the clearance for it. We have over 9 classrooms, and what we're going to try to do is we don't try nothing. Our team has already said that they will volunteer an hour. So we have over 20 people over the ages of 30 that will volunteer 3 hours a week. That's 1 hour a day, but we're going to have them coming in different ways. And what we're going to do is have at-risk youth kids come in. Wow. So yeah, we got people that got their RN. Shout out to Ebony Scott. We got people that's registered nurses. We got people that's registered cosmetologists. We got people that's registered everything. We got folks that know how to make beats from scratch. So what we're gonna do is ask these people if we can get the right sponsors, enough capital. But we ain't asking for sponsors. This is our sponsors. The church is our sponsor. Right. But when we get the right sponsors to get the equipment, we got the infrastructure. We got the people. I've been jamming this in their brain for 3 years.
Yes.
That I got to be the message I bring. I was once a dropout, once a mess up, so they don't know if it's a scam or not. Right. I got to be out here for a legit 5 years for people to believe this is real and it's been happening. So in 2021, we want our school, we see it happening. Right. So when you see Action versus Yappin, I never spoke on this. We are we are in 2021, and you can help enhance this. It can be 2019. If you can help enhance this. But we want 8 rooms for 16 classes, because on Monday, this group of people will donate their time. No money. Right. So if you got a lot of black young millennials around telling you that I would donate my time to help the community, where the money at for this? But we haven't asked one soul for no money. Right. Y'all gonna hear us first and ask us what we need. We don't want to come saying this our idea and check this out. Right. We gonna do enough actions for folks to say what y'all want. Yes. Let me contribute. And that's what we want. We want y'all to buy the equipment to teach this kid that. And I bet you it I bet you it put a dent in teen pregnancy. Mm-hmm. When this little girl knows she can go somewhere instead of going to that dude crib, guess what? And that same dude that was gonna get her pregnant gonna follow him. Right. Her. And guess what? You're gonna learn how to be a welder now. Right. You're gonna learn how to do that. They took those trade schools out of the neighborhoods in the 50s and 60s. Mm-hmm. Back in the day, they was teaching kids how to be. Where the woodshop classes at now? We don't have them no more. And they took that out of our community to make us robots, factory workers. Action versus Yappin is gonna put back the real live feeling in our community, because we are workers, we are doers, we are not robots, we are innovators. We're looking for the next George Washington Carver. Yes. We're looking for the next innovator. We're not looking for the next person to sling a hammer. We're looking for the next kid that's going to be doing coding, cryptocurrency. We're looking for the kid that's going to know how to make their own video game. We're looking for the next kid that's going to make an iPad. Yes. Because they're out there, but they're not being festered. That talent is not festering enough for them to say, I'm Steve Jobs. Right. It's a Steve Jobs in the Wild Hundreds right now, and he don't even know it. And I bet I'll find them before somebody else do. Bam. I bet you, because they just there already. Yes. And we just got to find them and help fester their talent, and that's what we about in a nutshell. And I've never said that on camera. Yes. Well, we looking forward to this, and we will be doing a round 2 and a round 3 and a round 4 and a round 5. We gonna just be around, okay? You know what I'm saying? cool.
Yes, so on that note, less action. Nope, less yapping, more action. I had to look like, hold on, what the hell am I saying? But yes, people, this has been such a great. Oh my gosh, I just need a moment. Yes, this has been such a great interview, and thank you so much, Mike. Miss Diana, with your beautiful self, didn't come over here, but I get it. But there is, you know, a woman behind the scene putting in big work. You know what I mean? And it's just been an honor and a pleasure just to meet both of you guys and just watch you in action, because it truly is a beautiful thing. So connect with Action versus Yappin, hashtag Action versus Yappin, and you'll see. Because he's not about talking about it, he's about being about it. He's just on here talking about it now, but trust me, he'll tell you in a minute. Just go on and hashtag me. I don't even want to even say nothing. So in a minute, he'd be like, what? But you know what I'm saying?
That's true.
But thank you guys for tuning in. We love you all. Thank you for joining us on the scene. I'm your girl, Racheal J. This is Mike the Mike, a.k.a. Mike Leonard, or twist that around, Mike Leonard, a.k.a. Mike the Mike, and we are on the scene. Come back and see us again. We love you all. Smooches! Action versus Yappin.